The inference to God is not an argument from ignorance. The claim that the inference to God is an argument from ignorance has been an objection from some atheists. However, this criticism misrepresents what the inference to God truly involves. The inference to God is not about filling gaps in knowledge with "God did it" explanations. Instead, it is a reasoned, abductive inference, similar to inferences made in science and other disciplines, based on positive evidence and reasoning about the world, not a dismissal due to a lack of alternatives. Here, I will explain why the inference to God is not an argument from ignorance and will illustrate this with several examples. Understanding an argument from ignorance. An argument from ignorance, also known as an appeal to ignorance, argumentum ad ignorantium, is a logical fallacy that claims something is true simply because it has not been proven false, or that something is false because it has not been proven true. In other words, it assumes that the absence of evidence against a claim is evidence for the claim. For example, abiogenesis has not been proved to be false, therefore it is true, even though we do not have any viable testable and falsifiable step-by-step biochemical mechanism for it. Naturalistic mega-evolution has not been proved to be false, therefore it is true, even though we do not have any viable testable and falsifiable step-by-step biochemical mechanism for it. These are clearly faulty arguments because they rely on the lack of evidence as proof for the claim, rather than on positive evidence supporting the claim itself. The nature of the inference to God. In contrast to the argument from ignorance, the inference to God is based on positive evidence and reasoned analysis of that evidence, rather than a mere appeal to the unknown. The inference to God is an abductive inference, a logical method commonly used in science where we infer the best possible explanation from the available data. This is often referred to as inference to the best explanation. In the context of theism, the inference to God arises when the existence of God is seen as the best explanation for certain features of reality, such as the origin of the universe, the fine-tuning of physical constants, the existence of moral laws, and the existence of complex, specified information in biology, like DNA. These features are not explained adequately by alternative naturalistic theories, but they are explained by the hypothesis of an intelligent, purposeful creator. Example 1. The fine-tuning of the universe. One of the clearest examples of a reasoned inference to God comes from the fine-tuning of the universe. Modern physics has revealed that the fundamental constants of the universe, such as the gravitational constant, the cosmological constant, and the strong nuclear force, are precisely set within extremely narrow ranges that allow for the existence of life. For example, if the strength of gravity were just slightly stronger or weaker, stars would not form, and neither would planets, or life. The inference to God in this context is not saying, we can't explain why the constants are fine-tuned, so it must be God. Rather, it is saying, given the astonishingly precise fine-tuning of the universe for life, what is the best explanation? The hypothesis of an intelligent designer who intended life to exist provides a better explanation than the idea that it happened by random chance, especially since the odds of such fine-tuning occurring by accident are astronomically low. Atheists often invoke the multiverse theory as an alternative explanation, suggesting that if there are infinitely many universes, at least one would happen to have the right conditions for life. However, this theory is speculative and lacks empirical evidence, and even if true, it raises further questions, such as why a multiverse exists in the first place and why it follows such specific laws. In this light, the inference to God is a reasoned conclusion based on the evidence of fine-tuning, not a fallback to ignorance. Example 2. The origin of life and biological information. Another example is the origin of life and the presence of complex specified information in DNA. DNA is essentially a highly sophisticated language, storing information in the form of nucleotide sequences that guide the development and functioning of living organisms. The sequence of nucleotides in DNA is not random, it follows a precise order to carry out specific biological tasks. The inference to God in this case is not an argument from ignorance, it is an argument based on positive evidence. In all our experience, information, especially complex, functional information like that found in DNA, originates from intelligent sources. Just as the existence of a computer program points to the existence of a programmer, the existence of biological information in DNA points to an intelligent cause. Naturalistic explanations, such as random mutation and natural selection, fail to account for the origin of the information itself. Mutations can modify existing information, but they do not explain how the original information arose. The inference to God is based on the recognition that intelligence is the only known source of information, making it the best explanation for the origin of the information-rich systems found in biology. Example 3. The moral argument. The moral argument also demonstrates that the inference to God is not based on ignorance but on a reasoned examination of the evidence. Objective moral values and duties exist. Certain things are universally recognized as right or wrong, regardless of cultural or personal preferences. For instance, the belief that torturing an innocent child for fun is morally wrong is not a matter of subjective opinion, it is universally considered evil. The best explanation for the existence of objective moral values is the existence of a moral lawgiver, God. Naturalistic explanations, which reduce moral values to evolutionary instincts or social contracts, fail to account for the binding, objective nature of morality. If moral values were simply the product of evolution, they would be subjective and mutable, not objective and universal. Again, the inference to God is not an argument from ignorance. It is based on the observation that objective moral values exist and that God provides the best explanation for this phenomenon. Inference to the best explanation versus argument from ignorance. To summarize, the inference to God is an abductive inference, an inference to the best explanation, based on observed evidence in nature, physics, biology, and morality. It is not an argument from ignorance, because it does not rest on the absence of alternative explanations but on the positive evidence pointing to a purposeful and intelligent cause. In science, when we infer the existence of electrons, black holes, or quarks, we are not making arguments from ignorance. We are inferring the best explanation based on the evidence at hand. The same holds true for the inference to God. We see features in the universe that demand explanation, and the hypothesis of an intelligent creator provides the best, most rational, and coherent explanation for these features. Conclusion. The inference to God is not an appeal to ignorance but a reasoned conclusion drawn from evidence and experience. When we see fine-tuning in the cosmos, complex information in biology, and objective morality, these point us toward a purposeful designer, not as a placeholder for ignorance but as the best explanation for the data we have. Far from being a fallacy, the inference to God stands on the same logical ground as many scientific inferences and provides a coherent, rational explanation for the world we observe. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe, and comment below if you agree or would like to add your thoughts. If you would like me to respond to your comment, please make a level 1 comment directly below the video. I will respond to all polite level 1 comments even if it takes me a while, due to other commitments.